Good morning, good evening, good everything in between, and welcome to Baseball for Breakfast, our season finale episode. I'm your host, Jim Bobernicki, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Michael Beasley. How you doing, Michael?
Doing good here, Jim, and I'm excited to see this game between two vastly different teams at two vastly different points in the standings right now.
Well, it is true they are at the polar opposite ends of the standings. You know, the Fighters are still a super talented team that have had a lot of bad luck this season, while inversely, the Buffaloes are a super talented team that have had seemingly nothing but good luck this season, just steamrolling through the Pacific League. But I think we'll still have a really interesting game here for us today.
Eventually, the Fighters did get some luck on their side, but at that point, it was a little bit too late, as they had a good August, but at that point, they were pretty much firmly entrenched in the bottom half of the standings.
And while that is true, the playoff race is still heating up. The Fighters are probably more or less, they would be mathematically eliminated if it wasn't like every other team in the Pacific League kind of seems to be fighting for that last playoff spot. So, hey, we'll see how the game today goes. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the Buffaloes are all but locked in. I think they would have to have the most of monumental historical collapse to not make the playoffs now or even win the pennant. But, hey, it's baseball. Crazier things have happened.
Right now, I think the Hokkaido is mathematically in it, but I believe the odds are so astronomical at this point, I don't expect them to see them make a push for third. I think right now it's either Rakuten or SoftBank right now.
That is true. All right. So I believe today our starting pitcher for the Fighters will be Cody Ponce. But on the other side, we'll have Kohei Azuma for the Buffaloes. As we see the lineups here and the players trotting out.
Kohei Azuma, another one of those pitchers that just seems to come out of nowhere for Oryx.
Oryx they grow them in a lab, I tell you.
Just another pitching factory. I've always liked them to the Tampa Bay Rays, where they just keep coming up with new pitchers out of nowhere.
Do you think it's a matter of finding them or developing them? You'd think when you're that consistent, it's got to be development. No one can just consistently find pitchers that often, right?
I think it has to be a combination of both finding those diamonds in the rough and then having a great pitching training staff and able to turn them into what they are.
As you see Cody Ponce taking the mound here, former Brewers draft pick, traded to the Pirates in 2019, was a member of the MLB roster, the MLB until 2021. This is his second year in MPB. Oh, as we have the ceremonial first pitch here, let's take a look at this. Not sure who that is, I'll be honest. But pretty decent throw. Good job.
I don't even think that kid was old enough to remember when they played in that uniform.
Yeah, there was something weird about that. So as we were saying over Cody Ponce, the starter today, he's had a bit of an up and down season. I think so far he's 3-4 with a 3.63 ERA. He's had a bit of a rough start to the season, allowing a couple losses, giving up over 4 runs more than a couple times, but he's won his last 3 games, only allowing 1 run now over the last 17 innings. So maybe he'll have another good game here as we take a look at his recent games.
When he was in the U.S., he made his MLB debut in 2020, which is probably the worst year you could have had to make your Major League debut.
Yep, yeah, that'll probably do it. I try to forget that happened, a little bit. Just put all that unpleasantness behind us.
Every time I forget it, I just see a screenshot of a game where there's cardboard cutouts in the stand, and I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
As we'll take a look here at who the first batter is for the Buffaloes. As we're about to kick off. Again, this is our final Baseball for Breakfast of the season. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us so far this year. We hope to do it again next year, and we'll keep you posted on any updates regarding that very soon. As we have the first batter coming up here. Oh, can't see the name, so just got to guess. As the first pitch comes through, and that's a fastball right down the middle for strike one. As I believe that's Tomoya Noguchi in his second season with the Buffaloes. And we have quick strike two. Cody Ponce making quick work here. And the 0-2 delivery. Big swing and a miss. Strike three. Cody Ponce picking up his first strikeout of the evening on a quick 1-2-3 immaculate inning. Immaculate batter, I should say. You see him working that
is
fork
not
ball.
It's not your prototypical fighter's pitching performance, and that is not your prototypical Oryx at bat right there. Just going down quickly like that.
Second batter of the inning, Yuma Mune, and that's a quick strike to the outside for strike number one. Trying to get access to a lineup here. That would be very helpful. Yes, that is Mr. Yuma Mune. As Cody Ponce again now, right away, he's on strike two. My goodness. And the 0-2 delivery coming through. Curveball grounded off to second base, collected and thrown over to first for the easy out. Second batter away. Just kind of hearing my voice there. I do sound a little hoarse. I am a little sick. I do apologize to people, but it's the last game of the season. We got to get through it. As we see this big curveball that gets grounded out to second there. As that should bring up center fielder Keita Nagawa to the plate. Former first baseman having a pretty good time at center field this year as Ponce gets a breaking ball down the middle for strike number one. The 0-1 delivery. Skied out to shortstop. Should be an easy collect as Cody Ponce picks up even better than an immaculate inning with 8 strikes and 3 outs. There we go.
That might be the quickest inning we've had on any of our broadcasts we've done, this year or last year.
I mean, that's literally about as quick an inning as you can possibly have. And so, as you mentioned before, that should bring up one Mr. Kohei Azuma to the plate. To the mound, I should say. Now we'll take a quick look down into the chat once it loads up for me. We have Mo Muntz in the chat. Good morning to you too, my good sir. And good morning to everyone else watching. Hope we get more people in soon. Well, it might be a bit of an ask to get a lot of people in today, given it is the first place team and last place team. So the playoff implications are pretty thin, but still should be a fun game. Kohei Azuma, 23-year-old righty from the Kobe area, was drafted by the Buffaloes back in 2018 and has played with the big league club since 2022. We have seen him before on one of our Midnight Matinee videos, so Interesting that we get a repeat performance here. Oh, I don't know if this is right, but my lineup card I'm looking at implies that Mr. Chusei Manami is leading off for the Fighters today. Interesting place for the young power hitter. And again, that is a bit of a Shingoism, isn't it, to switch the lineup like that?
Yeah,
there he is.
No one's really set into any position in the lineup, nor are they really set into any position in the field with Shinjo.
Chusei Manami having a very good season this year. Very much a breakout star. As he will face his first pitch here. First pitch seemed like a seemed fastball in there for strike number 1. Oh, 1 delivery on the way. As Manami grounds that over to second, easy pickup, flipped over to first, 1 away. Can you make out what that stat is? Because that seems pretty damning on one side. Is that against right-handed and left-handed?
Those are his lefty-righty splits.
Ooh, okay. So not good against lefties, I'm going to guess.
I believe that's what it was, but I did not look at the kanji close enough.
Ryota Isabata coming up. First pitch down to the dirt for ball number 1. As the 1-0 pitch comes up, and he grounds that over to first, collected very easily by Yumatongo, 2 away. Well, you asked for a quick game. Looks like we have a quick game starting off here.
Or in typical midnight matinee baseball for breakfast fashion, it'll be quick for about 4 innings, and then
we'll come to a grinding 20-hit inning halt.
Or we'll get to that 30-pitch at-bat every other batter.
Kotaro Kimomiya comes to the plate. Having a solid season, but not quite the season you'd expect from the highly touted prospect, as that first ball was in there for ball number 1. And the 1-0 delivery, it's just okay. Look a little outside, but that's strike number 1. And the 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball way outside for ball number 2. One 2-1 delivery on the way. As Kiyomiya hits that well out to center field, though that should be easily collected for the 3rd out of the inning. Very quick first inning here as we come to the top of the second, 0-0. Here at Escon Field as the Fighters take on the Buffaloes. Do I sound as hoarse to you as I do in my own head? I gotta ask.
You sound normal to me, so...
Oh, well, there we go. All right. Oh, yes, and some of you may not be aware, we have a Hatsune Miku collaboration going on over these past 2 weeks in MPB. We get these special Miku designs with them in different team uniforms.
I said it on one of the podcast episodes, reminder that we do have a podcast here, where a show that I had liked was doing a NPB collaboration, but when I first saw it, I only saw the Marines part of the collaboration, and I knew the characters in the show were from Chiba. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then little did I know, I found out later that they were traders. And they had a collaboration with the entire NPB league.
It's for everyone, not just you, Mike.
I thought they were special.
Coming around to the top of the second inning here. My goodness, we got through that inning in less than 10 minutes. If we keep this up, we might be done the game by 6:30. Might be done the game before the sun comes up. That brings up Mr. Tomoya Mori to the plate, one of the best batters in the Pacific League. Was having a fantastic season before he got injured for a little bit. Still, he's been very productive this year. We're going to take a quick look at his stat line here. Make it out as best we can. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. 290, 13 home runs as the first pitch. Huge. Man, I love the way he swings that bat. Look at Cody Ponce. I can't help but love it too. He's like a coiled spring that just explodes forth as the 1-0 delivery comes right in there for strike number 2. Wow, is that his first at bat of the game stats? Yeah, the 0-2 delivery, breaking ball way down to the dirt for ball number 1. One-two delivery on the way. Man, if Maury was still on the Lions, they'd probably be... I mean, there's a lot of ground to make up, but they'd be a lot closer to a playoff team than they are right now. I lament this as the guy charged with watching the Lions this year.
Charged? It was your idea.
Details. As Maury fouls that off to the left side, keeping the count alive at 1-2.
It was a vastly different team when we came up with that.
The 1-2 delivery is Maury grounds that over to Kimomiya. Or no, Kimomiya is over by first base. Or that's Martinez. I don't know who's where. As he picks up the first out of the inning. Maybe Kiyomiya's DH, for all I know. Maybe he's in the outfield. We'll find out.
When it comes to the Fighters lineup, I'd recommend just giving up and stop trying
that
to
is
pick
Kiyomiya.
anything.
I'm silly. I don't know why I thought he threw left-handed. Well, no, I do know why, because he bats left-handed. But nice, easy pickup. Flips it over to first. As we have our next batter up. First, I believe that's first baseman Yuma Tongu, breakout star this year, having a fantastic year. I believe he leads the Pacific League in batting average as the 1-0 delivery comes up, and that's down to the dirt for ball number 2. You see Tongu leading the league here with 307, 16 home runs, and 49 RBIs. It's a pretty good, decent little ditty of a season for him there. Love that stance, too. Just very balanced stance. 2-0 delivery coming up here for strike number 1. Oh, interesting. The team he bats the worst against, if I'm reading that correctly, is the Fighters, though. As he skies that up for a foul ball, bringing the count to 2-2.
The Orcs fans made it all the way up north to Hokkaido to cheer on their team.
That is quite the journey. Two-two delivery on the way here. As Tongu fouls that off to the right side, keeping the at-bat alive.
I wonder if the Japanese fan bases tend to have the same conversations that we have here, where when a team suddenly starts dominating, like Orcs has these past couple years, do they start going off on other fans like, oh yeah, well you weren't here when we were in last place?
2-2 delivery coming up as Tongu hits that deep out to, looks like center right, as that will be collected by the center fielder for the second out of the inning.
And as always in the chat, drop where you're watching from.
Of course, yes, for sure. As Sugimoto comes up to bat here, takes a big swing and a miss for strike number 1.
It was last month where we were wondering where Sugimoto went, and he was sent down to the minors for a little bit to try and get his swing back.
Oh, interesting. As Ponce misses off the plate there for ball number 1. Earlier in the season, Sugimoto was having quite a good season, so it's fortunate to see him fall off a bit like that as he fouls that off to the right side for strike number 2.
I think he was suffering from that post All-Star game itis many players tend to suffer
Oh
from.
yeah, that I participated in the home run derby and forgot how to play baseball.
The 0 for 30 ever since the All-Star break sort of thing.
Woof. As Ponce misses high and inside for ball number 2. And see in the chat here, we have someone watching from New York. But you're happy to be seeing some baseball that isn't New York baseball. Welcome.
That was a low blow.
2-2 delivery coming up here. Zingo takes a big swing and a miss for strike number 3, bringing end to the inning. Bottom of the second here as we are moving along really quick through this game. Fighters Buffaloes 0-0. Oh, that's only halfway through the second. Not as fast as I thought, I guess.
Oh, he's a Mets fan. He's used to it.
Yeah, there we go.
These things happen. Builds character. Well, I can't be too sympathetic. I'm a Phillies fan, so...
Being a
GG,
Phillies fan builds
as they
character,
say.
too.
I
And
mean,
I'm
yeah.
a relapsed Expos fan, so we got a nice little NL East party going on here.
Get out of my party. You're both eliminated from the playoffs.
Hey, my team was eliminated from existence, I'll have you know.
Still eliminated from the playoffs. I'm technically correct. That's kind
Ooh, Steve here is a Cleveland fan. Yeah, man, we got ourselves a real depressing hours out here.
pain.
Nothing but pain.
At least Cleveland had J-Ram. Or has
Cleveland
J-Ram, I should say.
had some pretty good years, not too long ago.
They'll be back.
Is there a team that's never been back? I'm trying to think. Like, I guess the A's. They kind of worked themselves into not coming back.
I was thinking the White Sox, probably.
Oh yeah, man.
It's
When's
been
the
a
last
while
time the
since
White
they've
Sox
been
were
so
good?
back.
Yeah, that's like they haven't been good since like the late aughts, and even then they were okay, you know. As Ariel Martinez comes to the plate here, having a pretty solid season, I'd say definitely one of the best foreign hitters in the league right now. As we have the first pitch coming on the way inside, just missing him for ball number 1. And the 1-0 delivery coming up here as Martinez hits that breaking ball just over to the foul line as Tongu collects it for the first out of the inning.
Now, have you ever noticed when your team is playing, they always seem to pop up to the first base side, and it's never the other team that does it?
Yep, that's
Or
baseball.
That's just me.
That's just baseball. That's also just the Phillies.
It may be, but it could also be the Marines.
2 out of...
I mean, to be fair, at least my team is allowed to pop up because, you know, they exist.
Exactly, they still play. No, I mean, I can't say anything. First pitch, easy strike. As we have Go Matsumoto at the plate here. Last year's leader in batting average. Still having an okay season this year, though obviously not quite as good as last year. The 0-1 delivery on the way. Way high for ball number 1. One delivery on the way here as Go Matsumoto takes a huge swing and a miss for strike number 2.
Looking at the Fighters lineup, it seems so many players are having a good season. You just wonder, where exactly did it go wrong for them all year?
Well, as we've said in our podcast, and if you really look into the analytics, they've just lost so many one-run games that if you just like changed half of those, they'd be a playoff team. As Go Matsumoto takes another big swing and a miss for strike number 3. Didn't seem particularly interested in staying in at that at-bat. just kind of decided, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore. Ooh, not a pretty swing, to be honest.
Maybe he left the oven on.
As Azuma Belief picks up his first strikeout of the night. And that'll bring PJ Wang to the plate. Po Jung Wang, but I like PJ Wang. That's pretty good. As that ball is looked pretty good to me, but that's ball number 1.
He had an absolute monstrous couple of seasons in the CPBL in Taiwan before he came over for the Fighters. Quadruple crown one year.
Quadruple crown? How does that work? What was that?
He led in a lot of stats. Average, home runs, RBI, and...
stolen bases? Question mark?
Hits. All
hits.
4 of them.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like that's almost the same as batting average. Wow, breaking ball just gets in there for strike number 2. Wait, wow, sorry, I'm just taking a look at his career here. 200 hits with a 414 batting average? That's insane. Obviously back in the CPBL as he just fouls that off to the right side. We have one of our regular watchers here, Nat TV, saying it's a pain being a Fighters fan. And that is the truth this year especially. The 1-2 delivery is on the way here. And he takes a huge swing and a miss on a breaking ball outside for the strikeout that brings an end to the inning. As we come around to the top of the 3rd, both teams are tied up here 0-0. Here at Escon Field in Hokkaido.
0-0.
Yeah, sometimes it comes out. Sometimes those Commonwealthisms leak out of me.
I'll let it slide this time. If you have another cricket slip up though and call the pitcher a bowler, we will have discussion.
Go Matsumoto kind of looked like he was taking some weird funky cricket swings there, actually. I just didn't want to say anything. I believe this is, I was just reading a note about this. There's a We Love Hokkaido promotion at this month. Fans enjoy grilled salmon, Hokkaido scallops, local cheese, and of course, Sapporo beer at the stadium this month.
So I do not drink, but when I was in Japan with a friend of mine and his dad who did drink, he realized that he was allowed to drink in public. And at first he was kind of hesitant, and then he saw another guy around like 10 o'clock in the morning running up the escalator at the train station, double fisting Sapporo beers. Wow.
You're allowed to do that?
You're allowed to do that.
That's very cool. You're not allowed to do that here, but people still do, so that's nice.
They got their Molsons.
And by people, I mean me.
He's got the Molson muscle.
He's got the Molson muscle, baby!
See, I know my Canadian slang. My Canadian lore. Do people actually like Molson, or is that just like...
I don't know. I don't drink Molson, so I'm not sure. I can't really speak to anyone else's tastes. As Ryochi Adachi comes to the plate. I believe I said that name right, but that's a quick strike there from Mr. Cody Ponce. Cody Ponce pitching as if there's a pitch clock, doing some quick work here as there's a fastball just on the outside of the plate for strike number 2. What a majestic head of hair this man has. The 0-2 delivery just inside for ball number 1.
I think that was a strike earlier, so...
I mean, you know.
Means close enough.
You know how it is. And a huge swing and a miss for strikeout number 1 of the inning. His second strikeout in the game. Huge breaking ball. Takes out Adachi. Very nicely done. As that'll bring catcher Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. As that's first pitch is a breaking ball outside for ball number 1.
I feel like the majority of the Oryx lineup on a daily basis is made up of catchers. I mean, Maury was signed as a catcher, and he spends
it's all
more
like
time at DH.
former catchers who've changed over. And
Tongu, catcher, now the primary first baseman.
I was gonna say Nagawa was, but no, Nagawa was a first baseman who now moved over to center field. It's just kind of a bit of a logjam situation as the 2-0 delivery comes through. Fastball down the middle for strike number 1. Oh, we see here Lukotsky's had some very good success against the Fighters in his career. As he chops that over to second base, collected easily, flipped over to first to bring us to the second out of the inning.
Seeing that stat pop up reminds me of that one scene, and I think it's Major League, where the other opposing batter walks up and it shows his stats against the pitcher, and he's batting like 800. I think against Charlie Sheen's character.
Kotaro Kuribayashi, batting in the 9th slot. Very defensively gifted shortstop, and also pretty good on offense, especially when you take into account how good he is on defense. 1-0 delivery on the way. Strike, fastball just on the outside for strike number 1.
He's batting 9th for this powerful Oryx lineup, but there's several other teams where he might be batting 1 through 4.
Oh, absolutely. As Ponce gets that just down off the strike zone for ball number 2, I believe. Woof, that is close. 2-0 delivery on the way. Whoa, wow, you really heard the pop off the catcher's mask there. Ouchie.
Yeah, he's going to need a minute after that one.
2-2 delivery on the way. So the catcher looks at Kuribayashi as if he did that intentionally somehow. As Ponce gets that breaking ball as he chops that just over the second baseman's head, landing in center field for our first hit of the game.
If you could even do that intentionally, I think I'd be more impressed. Especially if I was a catcher, like, wow, you can do that? He's a bit too happy about that hit.
Yeah, I don't know what about that hit was so amusing to him, but you know, 2 away now with 1 man on first at the top of the 3rd inning. As we make our way through the lineup the second time, and Kodai Sano comes up for his second at bat. Now behind 0-1 on the count. Oh, 1 delivery by Ponce on the way here as he throws the pickoff down to first. Oh, 1 delivery on the way. Just a little too high for ball number 1. I was gonna say the fans sound a bit quiet today, but it is probably the Oryx fans trying to go, and there's probably not too many of them that have made their way up to Hokkaido.
Can't imagine how much you'd have to spend on the bullet train to get up there. And then there's another train you gotta take after the bullet train's, last stop. And on top of that, tickets and like a hotel.
Yeah, it's one heck of a road trip. As he flips that over to, as we get a very quick out there. Flipped over to second base for the final out of the inning. That brings us to the bottom of the 3rd. Both teams still tied up 0-0. As the Fighters will take the plate with their 7, 8 through 9 coming up.
I'm wondering, is Ponce speaking Japanese to his catcher, or is the catcher, is English good enough that they're... I'm wondering. Huh.
Maybe it's a bit of both. Little mix up.
But Ponce seems to be putting a little extra everything on his pitches today. I'm wondering, have they had extension talks yet? Or, like, is he going to be extended? Does he know he's not going to be extended? Is he trying to put on, like, a display for the other teams?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I like that seat. With the booster seat, too. He's got such a nice little special seat there for Gunji.
You need a booster seat there, Jimbo?
Yeah, probably. I'm not very tall. As I believe you will have second baseman Tatsuki Mizuno leading off the inning. Though it would be quite impressive if I needed a booster seat to watch my computer to watch this game. That'd be pretty brutal.
You can't afford a booster seat. We got like 10 books stacked up.
Oh, stream slowed down there as we got the first pitch in for strike number 1. Oh, one delivery on the way, and that's ball just outside for ball number 1. Just being named Mizuno in Japan's like a player named Rawlings, isn't it? Or a player named Louisville Slugger. Big swing and a miss there for strike number 2.
His name is Louisville Slugger, but he's actually a pitcher.
Louis V. Slugger. And the second pitch, kind of wild there for ball number 2. Now again, the fans seem awfully quiet today. Even now that the fighters are at bat. The 2-2 delivery on the way. As he chops that down to the first base line. Foul ball. Maybe everyone's just too busy enjoying the festivities nearby.
The roof is currently closed, and I'm kind of wondering why. I mean, it's not bright and sunny out, but it's also not raining. I mean, 96% humidity, maybe that's got something to do with it, but they have the roof closed a lot here.
2-2 delivery on the way as Mizuno hits that out to the left side, and that will be collected by Sugimoto for the second out of the inning. Or first out of the inning. My apologies.
At the rate this game's going, I didn't even question that.
It has been rather expeditious.
Oh, new word.
A new word.
He's doing his vocabulary in between innings.
As that brings Yudai Furukawa to the plate. And that first pitch is a breaking ball. It's for strike number 1. So we can kind of see here, the fighters seem to be trying out a lot of new batters, probably just trying to figure out if they've got anything down the farm system. As we have another ball outside for ball number 1.
I think it's the point in the season where, yes, they're mathematically in it, but realistically,
yeah, realistically,
not. So you might as well just
get some young guys some playing
play
time.
Everybody you can. A hockey comparison here, but last year the Flyers were out of it since Game 1. And I think about halfway through the season, they were just playing everybody. Just trying to get everybody out there. So I think it's a similar idea right here.
Yeah, no, as a Canadiens fan, I can relate. We had a lot of AHL guys play for us last year. One or two of them actually turned out to be pretty good and got extensions with the big club. So that's, again, nice to find stuff like that. As a big swing and a miss for strikeout number 3 on the night for Mr.
You know what? Japan actually has a pro ice hockey league.
Really?
I mean, we might be stretching the definition of the word pro, but
I'd be interested in checking that out. I know they have a American Football League called the X League, I think, or the J League.
oh, the X League is a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of fun to watch.
As Taiki Narama comes to the plate here. Don't know why the right name Taiki gave me some pause there. The 0-1 delivery is Narama skies that off right behind for strike number 2.
I actually, on one of my flight to Japan earlier in the year, there was a guy on there. For some reason, the person letting him on was giving him a bit of a hard time about whatever he was doing, because I guess he had some sort of work documents, but he was actually going over to coach in the X League.
Oh, that's cool.
I talked to him a bit about that, and he seemed very surprised that I knew not only what the X League was, but some other things about it, and he was a nice guy.
That's interesting. There's a lot of weird stuff like that goes on. Like I know a high school football coach here who got an opportunity to coach in France, which he didn't take because he said, it was an interesting opportunity, all room and board and all that, but he wanted to stay with his family. You could do helping develop American football in France.
A friend of mine, he's Austrian. He plays in the Austrian Professional American Football League.
Yeah, American football weirdly big in sort of the Austria, Germany sort of area of Central Europe.
Now, he has to pay money to play, so I always joke with him, you're paying money to...
Wait, he pays money to play?
Yep. Only the American quarterback gets paid.
Wow.
All the Austrians have to pay up.
all the Austrians have to contribute to paying the quarterback. As the 2-2 delivery picks up strikeout number 4 for Mr. Azuma. That brings us to the end of the inning. An inning where we talked more about foreign football than we did baseball. But that brings us to the top of the 4th with the Buffaloes and the Fighters tied 0-0. As Azuma is making quick work out of the Fighters lineup.
And a reminder to scan that QR code and get your Miku gear.
It's only available till September 17th, so you got yourselves another week. But do check it out if that is your sort of thing.
Not your typical Hatsune Miku art style. Apparently the art is by Buzz. I feel as though I've seen that style before.
Yeah, there is something familiar about it. No idea where I could place it for, but
I feel like it's like a style from a DS game from way back when. I'll have to look into that.
Oh. Yeah, wait. Yeah, you saying that kind of flickered a memory. I'm not sure what though. Mo Muntz and JT Dutch pointing out that yes, NFL Europe and the World League were a thing. And we always have the Canadian Football League, which is very different. Not very different. Pretty different, though. It's like if they played baseball with 11 innings and...
Oh, well, they do play baseball with 11 innings. That's called the typical Fighters broadcast on this channel. 11 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Every time.
Well, given the way this game's going, we might get to 11 innings, but it'll still be done by 7:30, so... Cody Ponce takes his first pitch. Okay, all right, breaking ball in there for not a strike, apparently. As Yuma Mune gets ready for his second at-bat of the evening. The 1-0 pitch, and he beans Mune right in the back. That was, didn't look intentional, but that definitely was poorly placed, to say the least. As Mune will take his first base. Second base runner of the evening for the Buffaloes.
Ponce not honoring the century-old tradition of tipping your cap. So clearly it must have been intentional. Do you know about that?
I've always seen it happen, so I figured it was always just like a weird little sign of respect. I didn't know it was like an actual official kind of tradition, but yeah, I've seen it.
They just have that scene in Mr. Baseball about it. A lot of people remember that.
Oh yeah, man, I haven't seen Mr. Baseball since I was a little kid, but I should do that then. Keita Nagawa coming up here. First pitch fouled off there. Man, I'm having some internet connection issues, which is strange because I'm in the same room as the modem, so that's a bit weird.
All the control he's had through these 3 innings so far, that wild pitch kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Ponce has been having was having a very clean night up until now, as he has a breaking ball down in there for strike number 1, called by the first base umpire. Man on second with no away here in the top of the 4th. 1-1 delivery coming up. And the pitch is hit right out to left field, and that lands down in center. Mune will make his way over from second base and will score easily for the first run of the game here in the top of the 4th as Keita Nagawa picks up an RBI. The Buffaloes now lead the Fighters 1-0. So there we go. We got our 1 run. Maybe there won't be a tie into the 11th today.
Hopefully, but pretty instantaneously, Ponce kind of looks like a different pitcher all of a sudden.
Yeah, he made his way through around the first way through the lineup very easily, and is struggling a bit here with our second go through. And this is not where you want to be struggling, because I believe coming up now is Mr. Tomoya Mori. Or do we have someone before him? I may be mistaken. Oh, there he is. And the first pitch just on the outside corner for strike number 1. Definitely
Mori
where you want to try to get Mori.
He has a batting stance so, particular to him. I feel like he should have his own clothing brand, with that being, the silhouette on it.
Like the model?
Like the Jump Man, or whatever.
Make a bunch of models just look like that. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that just misses for ball number 1. Man on first with no away here. As Ponce looks down the line. Getting ready for the 1-1 delivery. And that just misses again for ball number 2. As Mori fouls that off to the left side, bringing the count to 2-2. Yeah, I see Dutch correcting me earlier that it was a wild pitch, not a foul ball. I'm having a bit of connection issues. I just saw the ball off somewhere, so I figured probably a foul. Two delivery on the way. As he throws down to first to keep the runner honest. So he does it again.
I know he's pitching to Tomoya Mori, and that's, a very powerful batter that you're playing and facing a really good player, but it just seems like the whole dynamic of Ponce is now something has switched, and I'm not really certain what's happened.
Yeah, he did look a lot more confident a moment ago. Seems a bit shell-shocked from that RBI he gave up. And the pitch as Mori fouls that off again, staying alive. Ponce now up to 50 pitches on the night here in the fourth.
And that is a great camera angle. We need more of that.
Well, if you'd like more of that on Pacific League TV, if you subscribe, you can actually control the camera angle you watch the game from. It's a very cool little feature. And he pegs Mori, as that's another wild pitch. And, of course, the batter will obviously advance over to second without incident there, as the manager will probably want to have a word with Ponce, who, again, looked great an inning or two ago. And is now...
Here goes the pitching coach, mound visit. Did they switch to like a different set of signs? Did they... I don't know. It's like everything is now
because remember,
different.
It was interesting. Now that I think about it, remember he was having words with his catcher as he left last inning?
Yeah, do they have like a different like strategy for the second time through and it just doesn't click with him? I have no idea.
Oh, sure. Shingo with those gold sunglasses. That's a look. In any case, we have runners on first and second with none away here, as the Fighters are up 1-0, bringing Yuma Tongu to the plate. First delivery on the way as Tongu just bunts that down to advance the runners, as Ponce throws that over to first to pick up an easy out. But now we're only one away with runners on third and second.
We've said it on the podcast, and I've said it multiple times over pretty much every broadcast we've had. I am a big fan of bunting, but I really don't think the
entirely appropriate there.
I don't think the Oryx lineup has to be bunting.
No, and especially not the... Go for it. Get some runs. But, you know what? Still a safe strategy. Not going to question the league leader at the moment.
I mean, if it was a tie game or later in the game, I'd say maybe do it. But right now, I don't think so.
Because that's breaking ball just in there to strike number 1 to Sugimoto.
In the chat, Mo Months, they will not be on... the Climax Series will be on Pacific League TV, but the Japan Series will not be.
Yes, very unfortunate that. But, we will at least have the Pacific League Playoff Series, which should still be a lot of fun, as Ponce misses outside for ball number 1. One pitch on the way, as Sugimoto takes a big swing and a miss for strike number 2.
I've made it known that Sugimoto is probably my favorite player in the Oryx lineup. His really big breakout year was 2021, where after being kind of like a middling minor league player, he just exploded with an offensive outburst and led the league in home runs. Had a bit of a down year last year, but he really came back earlier this year.
As he chops that over to the first base line, and wow, and he's safe. So he picks up the RBI on the dribbler there. As the
I did not know Sugimoto could move like that.
Yeah, that was some quick movement from the big fella. As we are, as the Buffaloes have scored their second run of the game, 2-0 now over the Fighters here in the top of the fourth. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, he put the Jets on. That is definitely the fastest I've ever seen him move.
I did not know he could do that.
Man, those big legs are for something, standing next to Ariel Martinez, a player I also have affectionately dubbed Big Fella.
It wasn't a defensive highlight, but can we put that in the top 20 plays? Is that allowed?
I don't know. That's a good question. we'll talk to Gabe about that. As Ryoichi Adachi comes up to the plate again. Yeah, Ryoichi. That's a tricky name for me. An almost eerie silence falls over the crowd as they wonder, how did Sugimoto run like that? As always, he lays down another bunt down the first base line. They're basically just trying the same thing again, but this time there is an out, but Tamori Mori scores over from third. The Buffaloes are now up 3-0 here in the fourth. So I guess that bunt strategy really did pay off.
Expect the unexpected, but that is not how I expected this game to go.
Beautiful bunt there, honestly. Pure perfect technique. Kenya Wakaki coming up to the plate here. Takes a lackadaisical swing on the outside for strike number one. And another less than enthusiastic swing from the catcher. That brings us over to strike number two. Bogotsky is known as one of the best defensive catchers in the Pacific League. Won the Battery Award last year. Not last year, 2 years ago with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Might win it again this year, I'd imagine, as he pops that over to the right side for... Oh, yeah, that is just the foul ball. Count remains at 0-2.
With Yamamoto pitching, I feel like you could just put like that. You ever see when they play wiffle ball, they have that like backstop to indicate the strike zone? You could have that out there and he'd win Battery of the Year.
Yeah, probably. And the 0-2 pitch as Wygotsky hits that deep out to left field, going way back, but Go Matsumoto picks it up before it leaves the outfield, finally bringing an end to the inning for the Buffaloes. As coming into the bottom of the fourth, the Buffaloes are now up 3-0 over the Fighters.
And as always in the chat, if you're now just joining us, drop where you're watching from. If you have any questions about the league or Japanese baseball in general, feel free to drop that in there, and we'll try and answer you the best we can. As we now go back to what the Fox says.
I've been seeing that, I keep seeing ads that involve those Fox guys on my, what are they doing now? I think it's Skip the Dishes, something like that.
Skip the Dishes?
Oh, it's like an Uber Eats thing. They don't have Skip the Dishes in America?
No, we have like 50 other delivery services.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's the same thing. We've got Uber, Skip the Dishes, Just Eat, like whatever, you know.
There's this new one now I keep seeing advertised. It's called like Too Good to Go or something, where it's like you get leftover food from the day, like a discount.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, it's only in like major cities, so I don't know why I'm seeing it here.
You're in Philly?
I mean like major metro cities. Like,
you're in Philly?
No, it's only basically in like New York and LA, but they keep advertising it everywhere else.
Huh, weird. What's that? Oh, I think I was hearing a weird clicking going on there.
Also, people in Philly won't be giving out anything for free or discounted. Come on now.
That's fair. That I hadn't considered. And just a little reminder, while this is our last Baseball for Breakfast, and again, I thank you all very much for joining us. I hope to do it again next year. We do have one more Midnight Matinee on October the 1st, where the Marines will take on the Lions. So please do check that out. We're going to try our best to make that a very special game. And who knows, maybe if the Lions have been playing really well lately, maybe we might have a weird playoff game, little playoff contention race there between two fan bases that are not terribly fond of each other, between Cebu and Chiba. So after what seemed like a one inning that seemed longer than the rest of the game so far, we're finally back around to the fighters, as Chusei Manami takes his second appearance here. And the first pitch, breaking ball low and away for strike number one. Ball number one, I should say. Down the dirt, better be a ball. Manami's bat looks very small. You see that?
Now that you mention it, I never really looked at that.
It's weird when he's holding it looks normal, but when it's behind his head it looks like a little T-ball bat. Maybe he's just that broad. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that definitely is a strike just on the inside. Strike number 2. Or, whoa, that's definitely a strike. That looked a little off the plate, actually. Zazuma has quite the intense death glare. And that, okay. that looked closer than the last pitch was, but all right, ball 2. Two delivery on the way as Manami hits that over to Kurabayashi, who picks that up very cleanly, flips it over to first for the first out of the inning. Nice play there by the shortstop. Beautiful turn and throw. That'll bring center fielder Ryota Isobata to the plate. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike number 1. Interesting comp by Mo Muntz here, saying Manami reminds him of a young Miguel Cabrera. I always thought a bit more of I think just because of his batting stance, reminds me a little bit more of Manny Ramirez. But Cabrera is actually a very interesting comp. I like that. Man, Miguel Cabrera was so good. Prime Iggy. Oh. As Iobata here is 1-2 in the count. Azuma with the pitch as he hits that down to third, picked up very easily by Mune for the second out of the inning. As that'll bring the young phenom Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Or the prospective phenom, I should say. The guy the fighters are hoping to turn into their next major star, much in the same vein as Shohei Ohtani or Yu Darvish. I'd say he has the potential to maybe be around that level if he ever lives up to how good he was in high school. As the first pitch comes high and inside for ball number 1. Maybe not Ohtani level. I'll be fair. No one's Ohtani level, but he could be a very, very good player one day. Hey, even now he's pretty solid. And the second pitch, he chops that over to the right side for strike number 1. Two delivery on the way to Kiyomiya. Breaking ball, and he sat on that, but didn't get all of it. Chopped it over to the right side for strike number 2.
I feel like after he came to the plate, the fighters cheering section perked up quite a bit more than they had been.
There's definitely a little pickup there in the energy. 1-2 delivery on the way as Kiyomiya fouls that off yet again. Keeps his at-bat alive. As Azuma is almost at pitch number 50 for his night. Some nice action on that changeup. One-two delivery on the way again. As Kiyomiya fouls it off again. Starting to remind me of another at-bat you and I saw once.
Oh, don't remind me. I see that at-bat in my dreams.
I see that at-bat every time Abe comes up to hit. Kiyomiya takes a little step back to collect himself. And the 1-2. Breaking ball hit deep out to left field. It's collected easily by Sugimoto, and that'll bring it into the 4th inning. Top of the 5th now, as the Buffaloes are still up over the Fighters. 3-0 here at Escon Field.
And as we go to the 5th, a bit of a scoring update for you. Lotte and Rakuten are tied 1-1 in the middle of the 4th. Seibu and SoftBank are in the 3rd inning. It is 4-1 SoftBank.
Sorry, my connection hit the wall again. 4-1 for who?
4-1. SoftBank currently leading.
I'm silently pumping my fists so I don't show any bias.
Them Eagles are getting closer.
Not if the Marines win, though.
Marines are 3-7 in their last 10, so...
Yeah, it's been actually, I was looking at the standings today. If the Marines don't get their act together, they might be the one looking out at the Eagles and Hawks in the end.
I've been there.
It'd be quite the twist of fate if our October 1st broadcast was suddenly like a 3rd place fight game for both the Lions and the Marines. I just realized watching the cheerleaders, I don't think we have our resident big-time Fighters fan, Pierre G. Hedgehog, with us today. A little bit unfortunate.
A lot of regulars today.
We do have some of them. Very good to see Now TV and Moments here. Man, they keep showing the same 2 sets of kids. One of them very happy, one of them very sad. And I get it when we see them one time, but why are you showing us that again? Unless this is are we in replays already? Or no, Kirbyashi's just already on his 2nd at bat. Okay, so first at bat right away. Quick foul off strike there. Was that like a replay of a promo package? That was strange. How quickly we transitioned there. As Kirbyashii gets it through the second baseman for a 2nd hit of the night.
It could have been. I can't imagine they got off the field that quickly in order for the pitch to happen as soon as the camera cut back, but
yeah, that was weird.
The joys of a virtual booth thousands of miles away, I can't see what's going on.
I don't actually know what's happening. I just kind of have to go with it.
Just trust me, that is skied high. Oh, it's only in the infield.
Oh, the amount of times I've done that. Like, oh, he makes great contact. It lands at the 3rd baseman. Okay. As Kodai Sano is at bat here. And he lays down the bunt very skillfully. Ponce does turn around, though, get it over to 1st for the 1st out of the inning. So that will advance the runner over to 2nd. As the Buffaloes continue to do Buffalo things and build on positive momentum throughout the game. As that'll bring up Ryota Isobata once again. Runner on 2nd with 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Ryota Isobata at the plate. as Ponce gets ready for the pitch. Fouled off to the left side for strike number 1. Yuma Mune, a former Australian baseball league player. It's always interesting to see the way the international leagues kind of commingle and move players around. And yes, no, that is Mune. I think I just misread the lineup card once again. I probably should. I could have a coffee. I'll probably have a coffee after this at bat. As that's down and inside for ball number 1. 1-1 delivery on the way as Mune hits over to second base. Mizuno flips it over to first, pick up the second out of the inning as Kurobayashi advances down to third. 2 away now. That'll bring center fielder Keita Nakagawa to the plate. Picked up an RBI last time out. Looking to do the same here. And the pitch, as he just fouls that off for strike number 1. Oh, 1 on the way as Ponce just misses outside for ball number 1. One delivery on the way here as he gets that over to shortstop, who collects it, throws it down to first, and he doesn't make it in time as Nakagawa makes it safe, and he picks up yet another RBI, though right away Shinjo goes to the replay. So we will see here if that was the second RBI for the night for Nakagawa. We're not getting a... Oh, okay. I thought I saw Shinjo motion for the replay immediately. Or are we just waiting for the loading? And it's time for a replay. So let's see here. Oh, that is close. Very good throw, though. Ooh, wow, that is... Oh, man, I think he's safe by... like literal microsecond. Man, that is as close. That is as close as you can be, I think. But I would probably err on the side of safe. Or whatever the call was on the field. And it is safe. So Nakagawa picks up his second RBI of the night. I don't think Narama should feel too bad about that. That was an excellent throw. Nakagawa was just a quick guy. And so the Buffaloes have scored their 4th run here. The 5th inning, I believe, is where we are. Though I seldom know where I am. So, nope, 5th inning. I got it right this time. As Tomoya Mori comes to the plate once again. Runner on first with 2 away here. And the first pitch. Oh, and there's an attempted steal. Not even close there, though, as Nakagawa picks up a stolen base. Oh, one delivery on the way here to Mori, and that's just high and outside for strike number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple Fighters fans are waking up now, checking the score and saying, "Oh, you know what? I don't need to watch this one."
I've been there. I've been there quite a lot.
And the pitch is Mori chops that over to second base. Mizuno throws it over to Martinez at first. And that brings an end to the top half of the 5th inning. Buffalo's now still leading on top of the Fighters 4-0 as we come around to the bottom of the 5th.
Nat in the chat, I believe we both need coffee. And the funny thing is, I actually went to get coffee last night to put in my fridge for, later. And then when I got to the convenience store, I saw the hot chocolate machine and forgot to get what I went to the store in the first place for.
Oh, big brain.
Big brain, yes, because that s'mores hot chocolate is back. And I needed that.
Yep, and I am now currently cracking up in my big old jug of Starbucks to pour myself a coffee.
Blasphemy.
I don't like Tim's. Tim's sucks. And even if I did like Tim's, I'm not buying Tim's in a jug to pour at home. That's not happening.
But you'll buy Starbucks in a jug to pour at home.
Yes, because Starbucks is good. It's not Tim's.
I have a Monster.
Now I can't get this thing open. Always you with the monsters. Oh, I like that little baseball filter they got for the kids there. Oh, that's nice.
I buy it by the case just because it makes work more bearable. My actual job, not this.
I do that with beer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't even get this coffee open. That's how much I need a coffee.
And then when I got my hot chocolate, they have marshmallows available, to put in there, and I dumped out like a little bit of them, and I saw there was barely any left in the container, so I figured I might as well just take all of them. I'm not going to leave, a few in there, and that was a sugar high for the ages. Then I just went to bed.
And you woke up and you're like, oh yes, I didn't get coffee.
And
instead I got some good sugar sleep.
And he's here. We have Pierre back in the chat.
Welcome to the show, Pierre.
Fighters fan has showed up.
You can now suffer with Nat. You guys can both, what's the word? Oh, goodness. Commiserate together. There we are. Really, I really am stretching the vocabulary today. As Ariel Martinez comes to the plate. And the first pitch. And Martinez hits that deep out to center right, but that'll be collected easily by Nakagawa for the first out of the inning. It seems the Azuma and the Fighters are both committed to making their half of the game as short as possible.
They're just trying to get back to the postseason. They just want to get the rest of this stuff done with.
As Go Matsumoto comes up to the plate here, as Azuma gets a breaking ball in there for strike number 1. And the 0-1 delivery down in the dirt for ball number 1.
Pierre dropping some Facts in the chat. Apparently, Ariel Martinez has announced that he plans to commit to the fighters long term.
That's good. He's definitely a decent, solid form bat, which we've been talking about. As Azuma picks up another ball there for ball number 2.
Now, most foreign bats do not get overly long-term contracts. At most, they'll get 2 years. There might have been I think there's probably been a 3-year contract out there at some point. I'm not certain, but...
As Matsumoto pops that out very easily. Okay. that's the opposite of what usually happens. I thought that was going to the second baseman, and Nakagawa picked that up out in center. I do like Mo Munz's take here, where, yeah, this season has been a bit of suffering for the fighters, but next year, they should be a lot better.
I think we need to open up the broadcast on like 4 other screens and use PLTV's other camera angles.
That'd be fun. As Kotaro Kiyomiya coming up to the plate here. And that's not Kotaro Kiyomiya. Man, what am I talking about? I poured out the coffee, but I haven't had a drink of it yet. That's PJ Wang. At least he's also left-handed. I got that right, at least.
I would hope you got that.
And Wang chops that over to first, collected by Tongu for the 3rd out of the inning. The Buffaloes really are just chopping through the fighters here, as Azuma picks up yet another no base runner inning here. As we come around to the top of the 6th, Buffaloes on top of the fighters, 4-0. As we'll have a little cheer section break. And just a little reminder to those of you who don't know, we do have a weekly English podcast where we cover the league, talk about goings-on all over the league, and, just give our little opinions on things and do little news stories. And if you listen from the first episode till now, you get to hear my mental health deteriorate as I watch the Lions every week.
And if there's a player that is currently struggling, ask us to talk about them because they will begin to go on a historic tear.
Yes, and also inversely, if we talk about how well someone's been playing, they'll probably start playing badly.
Oh, they're playing the YMCA song. I didn't hear that earlier.
Do you think the YMCA is ever going to die?
That's a morbid question.
I mean, just like, it's been around forever,
As long as the song still hits the radio, I don't think it's dying.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like the most iconic, group participation dance probably ever.
There's a Japanese version of the YMCA song as well.
But see, they're not even doing it. They're just doing the YMCA. Or maybe I can't hear the lyrics. Maybe the rest of it is in Japanese. It's the English one.
There was actually a foreign pitcher by the name of Taylor Youngman, and of course this was his walk-up song.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's excellent. That took me just a second. And I have to ask, in the Japanese version, is it like Shumo? Like are they doing different characters, or it's still just YMCA?
It's still YMCA.
Okay.
I think the lyrics are completely different. Not like a direct translation or whatever, but they still do that. I have no idea why it became such a hit over there, but
it's because I'm telling you, it's because the group dance. That's why it's so popular here still. It's because everyone. Here's the important thing about the YMCA. Everyone can do the dance. There's not a human being, except I guess a guy without arms, who can't do the YMCA. As we'll see some replays here, which I'm pretty sure will be solely Buffalo's replays. Not sure what you could show from the fighters here. Okay, well, let's see. We're just going to show some strikeouts. There we go.
And here you'll see probably the most surprising play of the day.
Easily. Sugimoto with the Jets.
Obviously, we can't do any of the hero interviews or anything like that, or just interviews in general, but I would like to ask Cody Ponce what happened after that third inning, because the entire vibe just visibly different.
Yeah, and again, like we saw in the third inning, there was like some discussion with his catcher, and up until that point, they'd been perfectly fine. And then it's I mean, I know this isn't what happened, but it is almost like he went up to the catcher and was like, "Hey, let's start playing badly now." You know, like it was just like very strange.
When he went out the next inning, like he just looked completely different.
It wasn't bringing the gas anymore. Like you remarked on the first 3 innings, he like had a very much an air of determination and like throwing that with some extra mustard.
And then just gone. There is so much determination to keep Jingu there. I really hope it works out, and I hope they do not demolish Jingu. I don't understand what's with baseball and trying to demolish their most historical stadiums.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a real shame.
Just seems to love doing that for some reason.
I know it's the other league, but like, man, my heart really goes out to that. Like, that's really unfortunate.
Baseball is a sport where you'll have a perfectly fine stadium, and then they're like, "Oh no, we need a new one."
Well, I
renovate
mean,
it? Oh no, we can't do that. We can't renovate it. No,
well, that's
no.
happened plenty in America where they renovated like Wrigley and.
It's like you can do it, they just don't want to.
Yeah, it's strange.
I guess they just rather use taxpayer money, but what do I know?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. So Yamamoto coming up to pitch here. Hopefully we'll have a bit more success for the Fighters than Ponce did, as the end of Ponce's night comes around. And here we are again with the league leader batting average, Yuma Tongu. And the pitch, as he gets that down the left field line for an easy base hit. Definitely going to, I think, get a second base here. As he trots out to second. Standing up double to lead off the inning for Yuma Tongu. Definitely not the start the Fighters or Yamamoto were looking for. That brings Sugimoto to the plate. And the first pitch is Sugimoto rocks that deep to right field all the way back as the center fielder catches it. But Tongu tags up and gets over to third. All things considered, still a pretty productive at-bat for Sugimoto there. Advancing the base runner. As that was a pretty good throw from center to the cutoff man. As Ryoichi Adachi comes to the plate again, as Yamamoto just misses him in on the inside for ball number 1. Again, runner on third with 1 away here in the top of the 6th. 1-0 delivery on the way here to Adachi as Yamamoto just misses on the outside for ball number 2. As we see here, the infield is pretty inward. Definitely going to try to make a play on any grounder going towards home. And the 2-0 delivery, breaking ball outside. He definitely didn't. Well, all right. First base.
That's a swing.
I would like to see a replay on that. Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That didn't look quite the same to me in live time. That definitely was a swing. Never mind. Strike number 1.
Why I'm not an umpire. If I was an umpire, you would definitely know my name.
2-1 on the way here as Adachi hits that just over the second baseman's head, picking up another RBI for the Buffaloes as he safely makes it to first and Tongu touches home plate. 5-0 now for the Buffaloes on top of the Fighters as the lead slips ever more away from the Hokkaido club. Well, at least if this game does go to extra innings, it'll be very exciting this time. It's very nicely hit by Adachi, which will bring up the catcher Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate as he pops that foul. Strike 1. Interesting question here from Jake Whittle. Are there any fan bases in Japan currently undergoing a big boost in popularity like the Mariners and MLB? I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like the Marines have gotten a really good rub from Sasaki being on the squad.
I would say in regards to international popularity, I would think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure nationally how things
domestically, I think Marines fans are pretty entrenched, and I don't think anyone's going over to the Marines from another team or anything like that. I would say Oryx is probably seeing the biggest boost in new fans due to their recent success. All the frontrunner-esque fans who are probably, suddenly SoftBank fans these past decade, they're probably jumping to Oryx, but I think everyone's pretty much entrenched.
As Yamamoto misses outside on the 0-2 delivery, 1-2 now. One-two delivery by Yamamoto coming up to Kenya Wakatsuki. Again, runner on first with one away here in the 6th. As Wakatsuki pops that foul yet again, stays alive the at-bat. Once again, the 1-2 delivery on the way here from Yamamoto. And Wakatsuki pops that foul yet again. Stays alive. And let's have a 1-2 delivery yet again. As Wakatsuki this time gets it in play, but it's picked up by Minami, who throws it down to first and almost gets the rare outfield double play. Woo! Minami does have that arm, but my goodness, that was a borderline amazing
that
play.
Arm, like that was just
laser beamed.
And that was just like from his feet. Like he didn't even like
get the full windup in that. That was just like a quick flick down to first. No, even if it was in time, though, Martinez was just off the bag. Definitely a player to keep an eye on in the future. I'd say if there's any young players who I think are going to make the jump over stateside, he's definitely the leading candidate, in my opinion.
When he first came up, a lot of people
foregone conclusion.
When he first came up, a lot of people were big on him, and I didn't really see it because he was struggling at the time, but now he's pretty much the star of the fighters, I would say, behind Shinjo, of course.
Well, yeah. As Kuribayashi comes up here, and he takes a big swing and a miss on the high fastball, 1-1. One delivery on the way here by Yamamoto as it's a breaking ball just off the plate for ball number 2. There's something about, something about Kuribayashi reminds me of Derek Jeter. I think it's kind of like a similar stance. Also very good offensive production from a shortstop. As Yamamoto misses low again there for ball number 3. Ooh, that was close. That was very close.
Furiously searching Google to try and refresh myself on Jeter's stance.
It was like this.
It's been a while. Yeah, I can see it now. It's been a minute.
3-1 on the way. As Kuribayashi chops that up to Yamamoto at pitcher, flips it over to Martinez at first, and that'll bring an end to the inning. Buffalo's managed to score yet again, as going into the bottom of the 6th here, we have Buffalo's on top of the Fighters, 5-0.
And once again, if you're now just joining us, drop in the chat where you're watching from and what team you're a fan of. If you're not a fan of any team and are trying to become a fan, we have a rule here that whoever wins this game is now your new allegiance.
So, hey, you're probably going to get to support the defending champion and hopefully future champion.
And as for your scoreboards, Lotte and Rakuten still tied 1-1 at the end of the 5th. Seibu and SoftBank still 1-4. SoftBank leading at the bottom of the 4th. And then, of course, other league. Can't talk about that.
Nah, who cares?
Oh, no.
Pacific League dominance, baby. It doesn't matter how the other league's doing because we're gonna lead. We're gonna win the Japan series. So who cares?
And then Mo Months. When I was there for a spring training game, I did see a large amount of foreign fans there. Whether or not they were fans or scouts, I could not tell you that. I wanted to get back this year for regular season baseball, but it's not on the cards right now, and if I were to go the next time I'm thinking of going, it would probably be postseason, and I would not be able to afford that.
Well, there's always next year, you know?
Yeah, I got the WBC out of it, so...
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. You got to see that. Crazy to think that wasn't even like a year ago. You know what I mean? Somehow it feels like it was a lifetime ago.
It was just such a great feeling and such a great tournament. I think that it just really separates itself from everything. That's why it seems like it was so much farther away.
In soccer always kind of seems like it was longer than it was. I think that was even just like this last year. Maybe I'm forgetting things, but Azuma starts off his at bat with a foul ball just on the as Tatsuki Mizuno is at the plate. As he fouls that off to the right side for strike number 1. You see other players with their shin pad. Sometimes it'll be like a design or a color, but with Mizuno, it's like just a big steel plate, no frills. And the pitch definitely high and inside for ball number 2.
I mean, as everybody knows, you can put on all the padding you want, but every time you foul it off, it's going to go where the padding isn't.
Yeah, it's going to go to your toe. It's going to hit your inside thigh. Going to hit your knees. As Mizuno fouls that off again over to the left side. Stays alive in the at-bat. 1-2. Or 2-2, I think now. Two delivery on the way as Mizuno gets another foul ball, keeping his at-bat alive. As the Escon field faithful are piping up a little bit. They're trying to get their fighters back into the game. Maybe everyone's back from the concession stand now. 2-2 delivery on the way. Down in the dirt for ball number 3. Full count delivery on the way for Azuma as he picks up a big swing and a miss off Mizuno for strikeout number 5 on the evening. I think I may have given him a bit too much credit there. Actually, I'll check that up real quick. Okay, strikeout number 4. Not bad.
He's really only had 4? Huh.
No, you know what? Or maybe... No. I actually think I might have been right, and my thing might not have updated. That might have been his 5th.
I feel like he's had a lot more, huh?
No, what he's doing, though, is he's getting a lot of outs. And the pitch is a breaking ball down the middle for ball number 1. As we have Yudai Furukawa, the catcher, at the plate. And the pitch just low and inside 2 for ball number 2. And another pitch as Furukawa hits that deep out to right field, and that just gets picked up by a jumping fielder there. As Adachi manages to keep the no base runners streak going for Azuma. Coming down now to the second out of the bottom of the 6th. It was very well hit, very close to a home run, but a great jumping catch. As the first pitch there is a ball over to Narami. Or Narama. Don't forget. 1-0 delivery, and that's chopped foul for strike number 1. Wait, Taiki Narama, the shortstop. As these young fighters hitters trying to get something going. 69 pitches in. We have no runners, no hits, no errors. Very nice. And the 1-1 delivery. Huge swing and a miss there for strike number 2.
That play in the outfield is just the definition of the fighters not able to get a break this game.
1-2 delivery is a curveball that gets chopped by Narama down through the center field as the fighters pick up the 6th.
That's their first hit of the game, and
first hit, first base runner.
That ends the perfect game.
That's what happens when the cameraman focuses on the fact that there's been no base runners yet.
F's in the chat, boys. F's in the chat.
Wow, and also, like, what a weird hit. Way outside. Just got to tap it and just blooped it into center field.
That's how they all end, though. Always on those weird hits.
Yeah, and I do agree with that, TV. The cat definitely just drinks the perfect game, but that's such as life. Though I'm sure the Buffaloes appreciate the Fs in the chats. As Chusei Monami comes up to bat here.
I didn't think anybody would actually do it. Wow.
Well, we have a chat. Oh, as Monami cranks that deep out to left field, way back, and it just bounces off the wall. And that'll bring the runner down to, oh, he's making his way all the way down to home plate as the Fighters pick up their first run here in the bottom of the 6th. Beautiful hit by Manami. I thought it might have even been a home run, but the Fighters finally get on the board. 5-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Maybe Azuma's magic has been broken and the Fighters come out to come back here. That'd be very funny if we went from perfect game to an extra inning game. That would be amazing. What a hit by Manami.
Honestly, the moment I saw that them focusing on the scoreboard like that, I was like, it's ending here.
Great base running by Narama. Coming up here is Ryota Isabata. Obviously, like most fighters, trying to pick up his first hit of the evening. Man on second with 2 away. And that's just inside for strike number 1.
It wasn't Monami that broke the perfect game bid, but flashback to last season when the Marines had a combined no-hitter going into the 10th, and it was Monami that broke it.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I believe it was in the 11th that it was broken.
As Isabata fouls that off to the left side, bringing the count to 0-2. O2 delivery by Azumata on the way here. Azumata. Just combining people's names now. And the pitch as he gets a big swing and a miss on Isabata for strikeout number 6 on the evening, bringing an end to the inning. As we come around to the top of the 7th, the Buffaloes are still on top of the Fighters, 5-1. As we get ready for the... As we just taken the nice little fight song by the Buffaloes. One of the more fun traditions in Japanese baseball. Every team has their own little tune that plays in the 7th inning. Ooh, I like that weight.
That's the Masataka Yoshida dumbbell. Now with the Red Sox, of course. In the chat, Nat, yeah, he was. That was the near-perfect game. That was the very next start after the perfect game, in which he was removed in the 9th, I believe, with the perfect game still intact.
As you got a little replay there of that beautiful swing Monami had to pick up the RBI. Coming around to the top of the 7th here, just another little reminder to those of you just joining us. This is our last Baseball for Breakfast game of the season, but we do have one more game on October the 1st, where we will have the Lions facing the Marines, and that will be our total regular season final game. Hope to see you all there. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know. And we will definitely have at least Gabe and Mike there, and maybe I might make an appearance. We'll see. And here comes the pitch, just outside for ball number 1 by Tamai, coming to the mound now. As it's Kodai Sano coming up to the plate here. I'll check my lineup card real quick as we have a 1-1 count. And the pitch is Sano chops that over to the pitcher. Pitcher catches it, throws it over to first, picking up the out. 1 away. Pretty nice fielding there from the pitcher. Second at bat of the inning as Mune crushes that through the first and second baseman, and he lands on first easily. For I believe that was his first hit of the evening. As that brings up Keita Nakagawa yet again, having himself a very good game. Already picked up 2 RBIs on 2 hits. Kind of got all the scoring started earlier in the game. Man on first with 1 away here in the top of the 7th. And the first pitch right down the middle for strike number 1. Nakagawa standing all the way back in that batter's box. Probably explains why he has such a patient approach to the plate, as he just misses on the outside there for ball number 1. One on the way. As Mune over at first. Again, the 1-1 delivery. And the pitch just high for ball number 2. Two-one pitch comes, and Nakagawa skies that deep out to right field near the wall, but Monami picks that up easily and throws it down to second. Definitely no runners trying to tag up on him after he almost made that play at first earlier.
Yeah, I don't think you would risk it even with this much of a lead.
And there we see the fighter's most accomplished batters.
Took me a second.
Their best performers so far. Tomoya Mori coming into the plate now. For all the Buffaloes have had this game, I don't think Mori's picked up much.
I was actually surprised to see some Rawlings bats there in their dugout. Figured I'd see more Mizunos or some of the other brands.
And the first pitch as Maury chops that over to second as Mizuno throws down to first to end the 7th inning. Or the top half of the 7th inning. 5-1. As we reach the home half of the 7th, we will hear the Fighters fight song. As we see over into the Fighters bullpen, Suzuki's warming up for probably the 8th inning. Oh,
And
we're having another
we do
little...
have an out-of-town scoreboard update. It is now 1-3 Rockton leading in that Lotte vs. Rockton game, and Cebu and SoftBank are now all tied up 4-4.
That's great. Hearing that doesn't make me upset.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yes, fine.
Fine, he calls it.
I will be fine. I will not be violent. I will be fine. As Kotaro Kiyomiya comes up to the plate here. Looking to pick up his first hit of the evening, again, as much of the Fighters are, as he's already behind 0-1. As Azuma paints the inside corner for ball number 1. Yeah, I mean, knowing my luck, the Lions are going to be the reason the Hawks missed the playoffs. As Kiyomiya gets a very good contact, but gets it just out to center field, where Nakagawa picks it up for the first out of the inning.
Kiyomiya thinking right now that he couldn't buy a hit even if he tried. He just done everything right, but everything's been a flyout or right at somebody.
You know, it's Kiyomiya's got that quality where even when he gets out, it just looks good doing it. You know, got that beautiful swing, beautiful contact. And we have Ariel Martinez coming to the plate here as Azuma quickly picks up his first strike on him. The 0-1 delivery from Azuma as he gets again the outside corner for strike number 2. Azuma pitching so fast, the pitch tracker on the left, barely keeping up with him. 0-2 delivery on the way as Wakatsuki stands up, and wow, okay, Wakatsuki made a brilliant call there with the placement on that pitch. Martinez immediately strikes out as we have 2 out here now in the 7th. Not to jinx it or root for any sort of a result, but this definitely looks like it's going to be the quickest game we've had here on our live broadcasts. As Go Matsumoto comes to the plate. And the pitch from Azuma as Matsumoto skies it deep out to center field as Nakagawa catches that one. And again, a very quick 1-2-3 inning for the Fighters. Top of the 8th now, as the Buffaloes are still on top 5-1 over the Nippon Ham Fighters of Hokkaido. As the submarine pitcher Suzuki is getting ready to take the mound. And they may have a surprisingly bad home record, but man, Escon Field is a beautiful building to play in. I've said this before on the podcast, but I do almost wonder if it being such a new, bright, shiny, gorgeous place to play, if away teams get excited to play there, The Fighters haven't quite developed any sort of home field advantage there yet, so they view it as a very exciting opportunity to play in this cathedral of baseball.
I would think so. It is a nice field, and we got a nice shot earlier of Tower 11, the section of the stadium dedicated to Yu Darvish and Shohei Ohtani, and other famous number 11s throughout Fighters history. Has a big mural of the both of them on the outside part of the tower.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when they opened the field, and it's very cool. It's a very nice little thing there. Guess you can call it the house that Shohei built. Probably not, but I think it's a fun name for it.
One of the many features of this ballpark include hot springs, hotel, and restaurants.
That's right. They do have those special seats where you can lay in a hot spring and watch the game, eh?
I believe it's a natural hot spring too.
Man, wow! That's one feat of engineering and construction to make that happen.
Still haven't been to a natural hot spring in Japan during my trips.
I'd love to. I definitely love to head down to Hokkaido. It's one of the places I'm looking to go to when I visit Japan. Though my friend said it's like the Russia of Japan, and so far as it just gets very cold and very snowy.
Oh, yeah, it's right up there next to Russia.
Yeah, I've had enough of cold and snow in my life living in Montreal, so I'm probably gonna go more southward.
There's a famous photo of a highway in Hokkaido where there's about 30 feet of snow on each side of the highway.
Wow.
They're just piled up.
Yep. Never mind. Hard pass. Fukuoka bound. Here I am. Wait, did Shinjo change sunglasses? It looks like he had ruby ones now instead of golden ones.
He had gold ones earlier. I think he also had a silver pair even earlier.
As Yumatongu comes up to the plate once again. And the first pitch from Sasaki coming up. And that's a beautifully placed breaking ball just down the inside corner for strike number 1. Just looking at the box score here, Azuma has 7 strikeouts so far. It's very nice. As Suzuki, gets that right down the middle as Tongu pops it up to left field, collected by Go Matsumoto for the first out of the inning.
One of the quirks of a virtual broadcast booth thousands of miles away, I thought that was kind of gone right off the bat.
Oh no, I knew that was definitely going somewhere. It was very well hit. And the second at bat of the way outside there for the first pitch to Sugimoto, ball number 1. And the 1-0 delivery, again, very much outside for ball number 2.
I want to sit down with a submarine pitcher and just be like, so, how did this happen? And who let this happen?
I love it. I think it's the coolest.
I think they're great.
Way to
It's just
how do you develop that?
You got to have a coach that sees that and goes, "Oh, okay." It doesn't try and change it, fix it, or do whatever.
Let's see. Yeah, he gets awfully close to touching the ground there. And the 2-1 delivery to Sugimoto coming up as Sugimoto hits that very well hit just past the third baseman as he makes it over to first. Kiyomiya was not able to get it in time.
Former Lotte pitcher Shunsuke Watanabe, famous submariner for the team, actually has, I believe, the world record for the lowest release point by a submarine pitcher.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. He literally, you see the dirt just miss his knuckles as he comes up. Oh,
I've seen pictures I've seen videos where he's actually getting his knuckles all bloodied off the ground.
Ooh, yucky.
Still a great picture for them for many years. Tried his hand at independent ball in the States in his early 40s, I believe.
Ryoichi Adachi coming to the plate here. One of the few Buffaloes who hasn't really produced that much this evening. Or no, I'm sorry, I mixed him up with Mori there. No, Adachi's picked up 2 RBIs. I was looking at his season stats. And the first pitch just in there for strike number 1. Imagine a broadcast where I got nothing wrong. It's not going to happen. Definitely not this season. And the 0-1 delivery just down and inside for ball number 1.
To be fair, just imagine one where we knew what we were doing in the first place.
That would be beautiful. Maybe next season.
Maybe we'll invest in an analytics department. It won't just be me furiously on Google.
As we have another strike in there for strike number 2. As we see, that was just at the knees and inside. Very well placed. 1-2 delivery on the way as Adachi hits that over to short. He flips it over to Martinez and picks up the, I believe, second out of the inning. And that'll once again bring the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki, to the plate. And the first pitch, as Wakatsuki skies that deep out to center field, should be easily collected for the final out of the inning. He throws it down to second. I guess just to show off that he can. And that brings us to the bottom of the 8th here. Buffalo's still on top of the Fighters 5-1. Fighters are running out of chances here to catch up, but here we go. Let's see if they can do it. They play the music to pump the crowd up. Let's get them hype.
And as for your out-of-town scoreboard, still no change. Seibu SoftBank still tied 4-4 in the top of the 5th. Lotte Rakuten leads 3-1. And as for Other League, that's Other League.
No one cares about Other League. No one here, anyway.
Oh, those are inflatable speakers? Is that what that is?
I mean, that's what the design is. I don't think they're actually speakers. I think they're like they're kind of like drums from the way I've seen them. Like it's like a tambourine. Actually, is probably the way to put it. I assume, anyway.
Call up the inflatable factory. Yeah, I need speakers.
I need tambourines that look like speakers.
And they're also balloons.
The inflatable factory. You think that's a place? I mean, it's
it has to
entirely
be.
possible. It could be.
I mean, the Orcs had inflatable dumbbells for Masataka Yoshida. There has to be a factory out there somewhere.
That's true. Yeah, okay, yeah. Just custom inflatables in Japan. You know what? I imagine those things. You know, like you ever see those those inflatable sticks that you can like bung 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 bung. I bet that's what those things sound like.
There's a factory for everything, I think.
Probably. And while the fighters have invested in an inflatable factory, the Buffaloes have invested in a pitching factory, where they just keep growing these guys in a lab. Yep, Shingo did change his glasses. All right. Shinjo, I should say. But... Oh, and we have a pitching change here. I would have let Azuma get the... Oh, I guess, right. He's already given up the shutout, so I guess there's no point. As we see Yamara coming into the game here. Oh, actually, it looks like we've got a glut of substitutions. Either these are defense-oriented, or the Buffaloes just have faith in bringing in some young guns to get them some experience. As Yuya Gunji comes to the plate. Another, I think that's another substitution. So both teams trying to make something happen here with some changes. And the first pitch here, and that's way down in the dirt for ball number 1. And so at the end of Kohei Azuma's night, it was quite a good performance by him. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 7 strikeouts with no walks. Definitely a nice pickup as Yuya Gunji hits that deep out to left field, way back, but it is still collected by, I believe that is Ara, for the first out of the inning. And I believe we have yet another substitution. Or is that just... No, let's just go Matsumoto. What am I talking about? Maybe I need another coffee. Entirely possible.
At this point,
no, that's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Wait. Too many moving pieces for me to keep track of now, as we've reached the 8th inning. And Matsumoto, not Matsumoto, again, don't even know who it is. Batting in place of Matsumoto, fouls that off. Thank you, Navi. That's Nomura. Perfect. All right, great. This is what happens when my lineup card doesn't update. I just have to take a stab in the dark. I don't know why. My internet connection has been very poor today. I apologize to everyone. My data is not coming through, or even the stream. I've just kind of been guessing stuff as it goes on. As the 0-2 delivery is down in the dirt for ball number 1. The 1-2 delivery by Yamada is on the way. Big swing and a miss by Nomura for Yamada's first strikeout of the evening. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Bit of an interesting windup and release by Yamada, where it kind of seems like he curls up like he's going to go 3/4 and then comes right overhead with it. And Yudai Furukawa coming to the plate. Thankfully, a regular batter, so I actually know who this one is. I'm good. As Yamada misses low and outside for ball number 1. And yes, Nat, I don't think we'll be going to extras either, but you never know. It's baseball. Something crazy could happen. But probably not. You're right. As Yamada comes for the pitch. Big swing and a miss there for strike number 1. One delivery by Yamada here, and that's just down the middle for strike number 2. High down the middle, I should say, but still. One-two delivery on the way. And that just gets the outside corner for strike number 3. Yamada makes quick work of the Fighters lineup as usual. Brings us over to the top of the 9th. Buffalo's on top of the Fighters 5-1. We are almost at the end here as Kurobayashi will be leading off the inning. Imagine being a cheerleader like this in a game like this is not the most fun. Energy's down with the team being down so much, but you got to try. You got to try to bring the people's spirits up.
Fun fact, they actually, when they put out the baseball cards every year, they have an exclusive cheerleader set where it's just the cheerleaders. And I think the mascots, too. You can get their autographs, 1 per box.
And once again, before we wrap up here, while this is the last baseball for breakfast of the season, we will be having one more broadcast of our Midnight Matinees on October the 1st, where the Lions will take on the Marines. Should be a very exciting game, especially with the way the playoffs are shaping up now. Please join us then to, see the final game of the season. And, we'll see you guys next year. But still, one more inning to go here for Baseball for Breakfast. I do hope we do get to come back next year. I feel like we've had a pretty good run of games.
I feel like we doubled what we did last year in terms of actually, how many have we done this year? Did we triple it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we did a lot of games this year, and we've had a lot of fans, a lot of interaction. I think it's been a great project, and obviously I'm not in charge of extending us or not, but it'd be great if we did. As we see Nomura there is now on second. Kurobayashi coming up to bat. And the first pitch right down the middle for strike number 1. Another pitch as Kurobayashi hits himself in the shins for strike number 2.
With these broadcasts, I actually never told my work that, I needed to be in later on these certain days. It just somehow happened to be that way. It just kept working out.
I think we had one where I was a little late for work. I think it might have been our first one.
I think that was the one with the famous Toshiki Abe at bat.
No, that Toshiki Abe at bat was the last one we did.
Yeah, but that's the one you were also getting. You were pretty late to work, I think.
Oh yeah. That one I was solidly late. That one I didn't even let them know. I was like, just I'm coming eventually.
Strolls in with his coffee.
1-2 delivery on the way here. As Kobayashi fouls that off to the right side for strike number. Keeping it at 1-2, I should say. One-two delivery by Ishikawa coming up. And the pitch down in the dirt for ball number 2. Two delivery coming up as Kobayashi fouls that off yet again. Determined just to make this game last a little bit longer.
That's how it usually is.
Two delivery on the way as he pops that off to the right side, but yet again foul. Two delivery on the way as he has a curveball that hangs way high for Kobayashi, who picks up his 3rd hit of the night, getting that through the second and first baseman, standing over on first. Yeah, definitely hung that curveball there. As for the final time tonight, barring a total breakdown by the lines, that brings up Kodai Sano for the last at-bat of his evening. So fouls that bunt off. Runner on first with none away on the 0-1 delivery coming up here. As he scores up to bunt again, gets it down the third base line. As Ishikawa gets it over to first for the first out. Oh, we seem to have paused a little bit, but we're all right. Yuya Mune coming up to the plate here. Yuma Mune, I should say. One away, a man on second. And the first pitch by Ishikawa as Mune gets that down for a bunt 2, but it goes right back. Strike number 1.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen a bunt go that far back.
Oh, yeah, you got way under it. Oh, 1 delivery coming up here. it would be. Ishikawa keeps the runner over at second. And the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Mune for strike number 2. O2 delivery on the way here. And the pitch high and outside for ball number 1. One, two coming up on the way here. As he goes inside, just misses in and down for ball number 2. Two delivery as the curveball is way down and in the dirt for ball number 3.
Bit of an odd game in that both cheering sections have basically been eerily
More or less
quiet
silent.
all game.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet game. Very contrary to, I believe, last game we had with the Rakuten game. Those fans were aggressively loud. And the full count pitch, big swing and a miss by Mune for the second out of the inning as Ishikawa makes his way out of that. Runner on second with 2 away here in the top of the 9th as the Buffaloes still lead 5-1. As that'll again bring Mr. Keita Nakagawa to the plate. And the first pitch, low and outside for ball number 1. Now, I believe it was on one of our other broadcasts that Keita Nakagawa got the walk-off hit, right? And he's gotten a bunch of the RBIs today, so he's a bit of a fighter's killer this season, it seems.
I don't remember a game with a walk-off other than the first game of the season on a midnight matinee.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wasn't that it?
Oh, no, the Fighters won that game in the walk-off.
Oh, then what am I thinking of? Maybe he had some other walk-off I'm misremembering.
I think there was a game where he opened up the scoring late in the game, perhaps.
That might have been it.
I feel like every broadcast we do is either the Fighters or the Buffaloes in it, so I think all the games are kind of blending together at this point, this late.
We are at that point in the season. 2-0 delivery, Nakagawa coming up here. Low and outside once again for ball number 3.
A lot of eyewear in the fighters' dugout.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shinjo himself has multiple sunglasses just for him. As the 3-0 delivery on the way to Nakagawa here. Outside for ball 4 as Nakagawa earns himself a walk. Ishikawa is determined I don't get to work on time, it seems, doing his best.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
As Tomoya Mori comes up to the plate. Knowing my luck, this will probably be his first hit of the evening here. Top of the 9th, man on first and second with 2 away here. As Ishikawa gets ready for the first pitch to Tomoya Mori. And down in the dirt for ball number 1. And the 1-0 delivery on the way as Mori takes a enormous hack and a miss for strike number 1. God, I love his swing, though. Strike oppose. I anticipate, I'm going to get this on the record, I think Tomoya Mori will be the Japan Series MVP this year.
I'll take note of that.
1-1 on the way as Ishikawa just misses on the outside for ball number 2. It does look like we are heading towards a likely Kansai Derby for the Japan Series this year, as the Tigers and the Buffaloes are far and away leading their respective leagues. Should be extremely exciting if we get that. Two-one delivery on the way here. As Mori jacks that deep out to right field, going way back. Big bang home run for Tomoya Mori here in the top of the 9th as the Buffaloes extend their lead over the Fighters. I think that brings us around to 8-1 as that all about closes out this game for the Fighters. Huge home run by Tomoya Mori there. And you know it had to happen with those big swings he was taking. And that brings us up to 8-1, top of the 9th.
Mori showing off why he's a former MVP. Back with his time with Seibu.
What a shot. What an absolute moon blast. I believe that is the first time this season where I saw a ball get hit. I'm like, yep, that's a home run. There we go. And I do understand the pain. Oh, my goodness. No way. No way. Okay.
Oh, that would have been a first.
Oh, man. Woo. All right. So that brings an end to the 9th inning after a very scary almost second home run there. Buffaloes are on top of the Fighters 8-1 now. This game's either just about wrapped up or we're about to witness a comeback for the ages.
That would have been a English broadcast first, back-to-back home runs.
Man, with that swing, I don't know how everything he hits isn't a home run. It's like he gets so underneath those balls and just hits them so hard. As Cody Ponce looks on, almost saying like, well, I didn't give up the most runs this game, I guess. Or he probably still did, but he's not the only pitcher who failed. He looks awfully content at the moment.
He's just enjoying the new field.
Just enjoying the little the little headrest he's got there. That seems nice.
All right, now I need to have a discussion with the cameraman. What exactly is he focusing on here?
Yeah. Camera production has been a bit strange today. Yeah, by contrast, Azuma had a absolute gem of a game, giving up only 1 run on 2 hits with 7 strikeouts, as he carved the fighters up for 7 innings. Looks like he's wearing football pads now, though. Maybe he's going to audition to be a quarterback.
I wonder, has Japan had a two-sport athlete at the professional level? I'm sure there's been at least one.
Yeah, maybe. We have a few more defensive substitutions here, as the Buffaloes definitely look to close out this game. They would have to give up a lot to not, as the first pitch is in there for strike number 1 on Namara. Or Narama, I should say. Oh, and delivery on the way, as he chops that foul for strike number 2. Oh, 2 delivery on the way, as Narama skies that deep out to right, and that gets caught for the easy out. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Chusei Manami comes to the plate again. Might be looking to try and get himself a home run just for statistics' sake. Again, what a beautifully hit double that was earlier. Pretty much the sole highlight for the fighters this game, and what has been definitely not a great outing for fighters fans.
But he didn't get the out, but also that laser throw from right.
Oh, that is true. That laser throw was very nice, as Yamaoka's first pitch is down and in for ball number 1. One out delivery on the way. High and inside, almost clipping Manami for ball number 2. I've seen this before. It's like Manami looks right at the camera sometimes, and it's eerie. 2-0 delivery on the way from Yamaoka, as Manami takes a big swing and a miss on a ball outside for strike number 1.
Perhaps training for his future as a pro wrestler, looking at the hard cam.
The Congolese killer, Chusei Manami. 2-1 delivery on the way. Low and outside for ball number 3. I The energy in the stadium is low, to say the least, as Monami gets that, just chops that foul, so brings us to a full count here. Again, bottom of the ninth, 1 away. Full count pitch to Monami coming. As Yamaoka gets it right down the middle for strike 3. Simple as you like. That brings an end to Monami's evening. 2 away here in the bottom of the ninth.
Threw his bat down in frustration and then realized there was nobody to pick it up. And to go back and get it. Don't see that too often.
I think it was more he wasn't expecting it to go that far back. It kind of did like get away from him there. And the pitch, and that's... Is that the last out? Was it that quick? Wow, all right, there we go. I didn't even get to say who it was. So there we go. That's the ball game. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been Baseball for Breakfast, our final broadcast of the year. I am so incredibly thankful for the opportunity to do this, and I've had a great season with you, Michael. Big thanks to our producer, Daisuke, and big thank you to all of you watching at home. It's been a very magical experience. I hope to do it again next year. And there it is. That's the season. Any other closing words for you, Mike?
Just a reminder to everyone out there, we don't get to do this without you, so just make your opinion known and let them know that you want us back for next season, or just let them know that you want more broadcasts for next year.
For sure. And again, we have one more broadcast coming up. This is the end of Baseball for Breakfast, but we do have one more Midnight Matinee on October the 1st. Join us as the Lions take on the Fighters. Hopefully we'll see you there. And for the final time this season, take care. I will leave you with the hero interview.
会場にお集まりのバファローズファンの皆さん、そして中継をお楽しみの全国のプロ野球ファンの皆さん、今日のヒーローはバファローズ東康平投手です。ナイスピッチングでした。7回2安打、フォアボールなしの1失点という内容で今日は見事勝利投手になりました。投球内容いかがですか？
そうですね、ストライク先行で勝負できてたので良かったと思います。
6回の表、ツーアウトまでパーフェクト投球となりました。多くのファンの皆さんも大記録期待されていたと思います。ご本人は意識あったんですか？
少しありましたが、いつか打たれるだろうなと思いながら投げてました。
その後ヒットは許しましたけれども、内野輪が出来上がりました。選手間ではどんな声かけあったんですか？
いや、ナイスピッチと、ここからもう一回頑張ろうみたいな、そんな掛け声がありました。
7回を投げました。そして打線も2桁安打8得点と、いや、東さん、本当に素晴らしい打線ですね。いかがですか？
いつも助けてもらってるので、本当に感謝します。
これで東投手自身5連勝、そのうち3勝がこのエスコンフィールドということで、どうでしょうか？このエスコンフィールド相性抜群なんじゃないですか？
どうなんですかね。でもケンヤさんのリードのおかげも 大きいので、感謝したいですね。
リーグ3連覇に向けて、これでマジックが現状1減りまして9となりました。どうでしょう、チームの雰囲気いかがですか？
週の初めに、勝てたっていうところが、すごく嬉しいですし、チームに流れを持ってきたんじゃないかなと思います。
これでチームは3連勝ということになりました。明日もここで戦いがあります。チームを代表して明日に向けて一言お願いします。
今日はご声援ありがとうございました。また明日、野手の皆さんが打ってくれると思いますし、ピッチャーのサチヤさんが抑えてくれると思うので、また大きいご声援よろしくお願いします。
素晴らしいピッチングでした。見事今日のヒーローは東康平投手でした。
ありがとうございました。